Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is B. Kashinath, senior lecturer working at Government Polytechnic Sangareddy in the branch of Electronics and Communications. And my present subject is Data Communication and Computer Networks. And the subject code is EC 503 18 EC 503C of C18 pattern. And the topic is about the networking and the subtopic is different types of switching mechanisms available for the data communication in the computer networks. So objectives: on completion of this period you will be able to know about switching, what is switching, and different types of switching. So different types of switching or there are three types of switching. So first one is circuit switching, second one is packet switching, and third one is message switching. So in packet switching, again we are having it is divided into again two types. So first one is datagram packet switching and second one is virtual circuit packet switching. So totally three types of switchings: circuit switching, packet switching, message switching. And in packet switching again we will be having two types: datagram packet switching, virtual circuit packet switching. So first we will discuss what is switching. So what is switching is, it is the process of sending the data to appropriate port, by mechanism of routers. So routers involved in case of this switching, and anyway the routers will be discussed in the next chapter. So whatever the process of sending the data to the appropriate port, we are calling it as switching. And a switched network is made up of number of interconnected nodes. A switched network is made up of number of interconnected or interlinked nodes called as switches. So switch is a interlinking between the sender and receiver. So you will be having number of switches between the sender and receiver, which will route your information from starting point to ending point. So a switched network is made up of number of interlinked nodes called as switches. A switch is basically hardware, and you can sometimes it contains the software information also. So switch is a hardware device that allows connection to be established between two or more devices. So it can connect two or more devices at a time. So that is called switching and switched networks. So there are three topologies that are circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. So first, what is switch? Switch is a hardware device which allows connection to be established between two or more devices. And what is a switched network? It is made up of number of interlinking switches or number of interlinking nodes to send the data to the appropriate port from transmitter to the receiver. By using these switches we are transferring the data from one point to another point by using of the routers and protocols available in network layer. So and the three different types of switchings are circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. So first of all we will discuss the circuit switching. What is circuit switching? In circuit switching, so what happens is we have to send the data from transmitter to the receiver or sender to the receiver. So when we are going to send the data, what happens is source is at one place, receiver is at some other place. So there is a interconnection link between the source and receiver, sender and receiver, by using different switches will be taking place. And in circuit switching, before transmitting the data, what we have to do is we have to establish a dedicated path. We have to establish a dedicated path between the two devices. We have to establish a dedicated communication path have to be established between the two communicating devices. So that is a direct physical connection. That is, the direct physical connection has to be set up before transmitting the data. So briefly we will calling it as three phases in circuit switching. Or first we have to establish the direct physical connection that is dedicated for transmitting the information from that information between the two devices which we are communicating. And after establishing the dedicated path, we have to transfer the data from sender to the receiver. So after the transfer of data is completed, we can disconnect that connection. So in circuit switching, so whatever the sender and receiver wants to send the data, receiver wants to receive the data. So before transfer, what we have to take, a dedicated path is established between the sender and receivers. Means a direct physical connection path is established between the sender and receiver to send the data. In this situation, no other devices is sharing, no other devices other than this sender and receiver can share or communicate with this sender and receiver. So only this direct physical connection is established between those two devices. Those two devices only can share the data. No other device will be allowed. And the best example is your uh, telephone calls. Best example for circuit switching is telephone call. When you are making a call to some person, you are making a call, what happens is a separate dedicated line is established between you and uh, the receiver who wants to talk, you want to talk with him. So there is a dedicated path established between you and that person. After dedicating that path, you can communicate, you both can communicate such that no other person is entered, not able to enter into that call. Only a dedicated path is established between you and that person. You will after establishing the path, you are talking, both you are talking. So after that you are disconnecting, means after your call is over, your that path will be disconnected. Then that path may be useful for other ones. Means whenever you are both are talking, no other call is allowed in that networks, like that. So means it creates, in circuit switching, it creates the temporary dedicated connection, dedicated connection between the sender and receiver, or temporary dedicated connection between the input and output devices. So that temporary dedicated connection will be there up to the transfer of data from input devices to output devices. So after transferring of the data, you are disconnecting that one. So there are three phases in circuit switching, that are: first you have to establish the direct physical connection, that we are calling it as dedicated communication path, and we have to transfer the data, like you are calling the telephone through a telephone. And after transferring of data, you have to disconnect. So for this one, we will be having the switching capacity and channel capacity to establish the connection. So we have intelligence to work out routing. So once the path is established, the routing is very easy. So once as a path is established, the routing is quite simple in this case of circuit switching. So this circuit switching features, when we are talking about, so it is mainly used in telephone systems. So circuit switching is used mainly in telephone systems where both people, a direct physical connection is established, they are talking and they are releasing that connection, and that is used by other ones. So it is mainly used in telephone systems. But in case of computers, whenever computers to computer data transfer has to takes place, computers will not send the data continuously from one computer to another computer. So there is no need of dedicated connection between the two computers to send the data. So why? Because computers only send the data uh, whenever they require. They send the data in the form of bursts. We are calling them it as packets. So in that cases, this circuit switching will not be useful, because computers really don't have the data to be transferred continuously. They will send the data whenever they required. Then uh, we are establishing a dedicated link will be morely will be sitting idle. So in that cases, we are going for packet switching. So circuit switching is mainly used in telephone systems, but not used in computer to computer data communication. Why means computers will send data occasionally, or computers data transmission is not predictable. Computers will send the data in the form of bursts, we are calling it as packets, and it is not continuous. So that's why circuit switching is mostly used for the application of telephone systems, not for the use of the computer communications. So whenever a dedicated line is established between two computers, the chance of it will be used much used will be less in case of circuit switching. So coming to the features and advantages and disadvantages, so it is circuit switching is inefficient. Why it is inefficient? Because we are having this separate dedicated physical connection between the sender and receiver. So after a dedicated connection is established, we have to send the data. If the data transmission is over, if there is no data, means that line is sitting idle. So that's why it is inefficient. Means whatever the channel capacity, that is the channel means physical wire connection between the sender and receiver is dedicated for that purpose only, and whenever the data is there, that is sending the purpose. If the data is over, it has to sit idle. That is why it is called inefficient. So if there is no data, capacity is wasted, and channel capacity, entire channel capacity dedicated for the duration of the connection. Whenever the connection terminated, the channel capacity will be given to another one. So that's why it is inefficient, and setup takes the time. So this setup of dedicated communication link, it will take some time, but once it connected, there is no delay in data transfers. So delay at each node is very less, and it is simple, and it is suitable for only voice calls and large volume continuous data. large volume continuous data So what are the disadvantages? it is used only for voice, not for computer communication, that is data communication. So resources dedicated to a particular call, so that no other person can join uh, at that time. If a third person wants to connect to that call, there is no chance. So resources are dedicated to a particular call, so that are uh, allowed to talk. No other person can talk. So much of the time data connection is idle. So much of the time data connection is idle means whenever we are sending the data only the link is used. If you are not sending the data, the link is sitting idle. Data rate is fixed rate of data rate. So both end must operate at the same rate. So sender and receiver must operate at the same rate, otherwise the data will not be transferred from source to the destination. Means channel capacity not properly utilized and it is inefficient. Delay prior to signal transfer or call established. So it is only suitable for voice communication and it is less flexible. We can call it as it is less flexible. So this is what we are calling of circuit switching. So how it will look like? So this is sender and this one is receiver. So these telephones whatever we are seeing are sender and receiver. So they are connected by a dedicated link from one phone to another phone. Like, so this first phone is connected to one end office, that is local base station. Then it is connected to another main station, or we can call it as MTSO. So that MTSO is connected to another MTSO. Then this MTSO is connected to the receiver nearer base station. Then it is connected to digital private box exchange. Then it is connected to the receiver. So dedicated link is established between sender to the receiver. Then we can call from sender to receiver. After your call is over, you can disconnect this one. So but this route or this physical connection, direct physical connection between sender and receiver will not be shared by any other phone. So this is what how it will look like. So event diagram how it will take place. So first what we have to do, we have to give the call request. So that is going through different nodes. So totally 4 nodes we are in this example we are taking. So different nodes and connecting between the nodes we are calling it as link. So whenever we are giving the request signal, that has to reach the receiver. So for that we have to establish a connection. First we have in circuit switching we have to establish a direct physical connection. So from call request signal, that is going through different nodes by links connecting the nodes. So that we are calling it as propagation delay between the different nodes by after this processing delay and propagation delay, you are at the receiver, you have established the connection, and that receiver will send you call accept signal that is going to your sender. Then sender will share the data. Once the receiver accepts the data, he will sends the acknowledgement signal that I am getting the data. So this is the event diagram of the circuit switching. So first we have to make a call request. So that call request is going through different nodes. In that nodes we will be having the propagation delay as well as processing delay. So whenever this call request signal is accepted by your receiver will send a signal of call accept signal that has to again come to the sender. Then sender sends the user data. So after receiver receives the user data, it will send that oh okay, I have received the user information, like that it will send the acknowledgement signal. So this is the event diagram of the circuit switching. So next one is packet switching. So in packet switching, there is no dedicated path is established between the sender and receiver. So in case of circuit switching, what we are doing, we are first uh, setting up the dedicated path between the sender and receiver, and in that path only they both are talking. But in case of packet switching network, there is no dedicated path is established between the sender and receiver, all the packets. So what we are doing is, we are dividing the entire message into number of packets. We are dividing the entire message into number of packets. So that is small data is transmitted in small packets, typically of 1000 octets. That is, longer message is split into series of packets, and each packet contains the information of data as well as control information. So each packet contains the data or portion of the user data that has to be transmitted, plus the control information, and each packet will be of variable length. Each packet will be of variable length, which contains the data and control information. So what is control information means, what is the source address and what is the destination address, that we are calling it as control information, that is routing information. So how the packet has to move from one place to another place. So packets of varying length having routing data, that is control information. So what is the source and what is the destination. Packets are received by the nodes, or packets are received by the switches, and they are stored at that place, and whenever the line is free, then it will be moved to the next node, like that. Means it a packet switching uses the store and forward mechanism, that is all entire message is divided into different packets, and the packets of varying length, and each packet is having the information of users data as well as control information. Control information means the source address and destination address. We are also calling it as uh, routing information. Then these packets will be sent from the source side, and the packets will go in different paths, and each packet, after going through the sender, it will choose different paths, and at different nodes they will be buffered or they will be stored. Whenever from that switch the link is free, it will be forwarded. So with the mechanism of packet switching, we are calling it as store and forward. That is multiple paths existing between the source and receiver, and this routing information is decided by the network layer protocols. How the routing of packets will be taken place is the responsibility of the network layer protocols. So how packet switching is there? So it is between the computer to computer. So whatever the data is there, the data is split into different packets, and each packet is having portion of user data, and this small information we are calling it as control information, that is the routing protocols. The importance, that is what is the sender's address, what is the receiver's address it will contain, and which will move on to the switching network, packet switching network, where the different nodes will be there, and each packet of variable length which will be going through a different paths to arrive at the final destination, and that packets arriving also of is not ordered. So you may have divide that entire message into 1 2 3 4 like that, different packets, but each packet will have different routes and will finally arrive at the destination not in the same order where we are transmitting from the sender, that is 1 2 3 4. They can receive like 3 4 2 1, 4 3 1 2 like this. Yeah, whatever the easiest possible route for each packet, that will be chosen by that packet, and it will be stored at intermediate points of switches, and whenever the link is free it will move on like that. So there is no dedicated or permanent link will be there. So station breaks the long message into packets. Packets sent one at a time to the networks. So again the packet switching is two types. Startingly we have discussed packet switching is of two types: datagram packet switching and virtual circuit packet switching. Datagram packet switching and virtual circuit packet switching. So in case of datagram packet switching, so the packets are called in this one, packets are called datagrams, and each packet is treated independently. So each packet is treated independently, and each packet can take any practical route, and packets may arrive out of order as I have told in packet switching. So packets can have different lengths, and each packet can take different routes to the destination and may arrive at out of order, not in a particular order which we have sent. So faster delivery to the destination by using this datagram packet switching. Alternate routing on node failure also takes place, means if a node is failed, then the packets can choose different routes. So that is the main advantage of this datagram packet switching. So if a route or node is failed, then it will choose another path, another best path for to the destination, and it is mostly suitable for short messages. Datagram packet switching mostly suitable for the short messages. So how the data is flowing in datagram packet switching is, so you are having three packets from sender to receiver by using the interconnection of different switches. So it will choose each packet will choose different path. There is no need of ordering at the receiver. So here we are having the total three packets named 1 2 3. So 2 1 choosing the one path, 3 is choose different path. So after at the at this node packets 2 1 are reached. So we are sending the first packet first, then second packet next. These are coming at to the receiver, and packet 3 is choose different path, and it is also coming in at the receiver. Finally at the receiver we are receiving 3 2 1 like that. So different packets of different lengths can choose different route based on the networking routing protocol. That is, each packet will be of variable length, and each packet contains the portion of user data as well as control information. That control information is the what is the sender address, what is the receiver address in this link. So packet 3 is choosing different route, packet 2 and 1 are choosing different route, both are choosing the almost same route. In that route packet 2 has to wait until the packet 1 is moved. So once the packet 1 is moved, packet 2 also moved, so both are moving and finally reaching the destination. So event diagram looks like, so different on the different links and nodes, so packets are sent, so it is moving, packets are moving from different node to node and finally reaching the destination, and ordering may or may not be possible in case of datagram packet switching. So packets can reach out of order also. So packet can choose any route, and if the link is failed or node is failed, it can reroute. So there will be routing protocols that are there that will route the best available paths to the destination for the packet. So in case of virtual circuit packet switching, there is a pre-planned route established before any packet sent. So almost similar to circuit switching. uh, Here the uh, one path is chosen between the source and receiver. So that pre-planned path has to be chosen between the source and receiver. In that path only the packets will be moved. So this is the difference between the datagram and virtual. Datagram, we don't require any special path or any special link for source to destination. Packets can move as and when the link is free, and packets will be moved uh, randomly. But in case of virtual circuit, a pre-planned route is established. Pre-planned route is established before any packets are sent. So for this we have to have call request. So that call request has to reach the receiver, then it will accept the call and establishes the connection between the sender and receiver. So means it is like handshake. Handshake means we are sender will ask for to receiver, I am going to send the data, then receiver accept that information, and it will say that I am free, you can now send the data. That acknowledgement signal will be given to the sender, then sender will accept that and it will continue to send the data. So that mechanism we are calling it as handshaking. So first call request is taken place, and call accept signal will be given by the receiver. So then there exists a planned route between the sender and receiver. So on that route only the packets has to move. So that is the definition of virtual circuit packet switching. So each packet contains a virtual circuit identifier. So each packet contains a virtual circuit identifier instead of destination address. Instead of destination address, in case of datagram we are using the control information. In that we will be placing the source address and destination address. But in case of virtual packet switching, we are each packet, here the packet contains the control information of virtual circuit identifier instead of the destination address. So no routing decisions required for each packet. So in case of datagram packet switching, routing decision has to taken place at each switched or each node. But in case of VPA, virtual circuit packet switching, we have already established a pre-planned route, so there is no routing decisions. So all the packets has to move from source to destination in that path only, but there is no dedicated path like in circuit switching. So how it will be? So 3 2 1 packets from the sender and to the receiver. First we are call request signal is given from sender to the receiver through one path, and accept signal is given by the receiver to the sender. Then a path is established between the sender and receiver. In that path only all the three packets are moving. So first we are moving the 2 1 packets, then 3 packet is moving. So like that means we are not loading the interlinking nodes with all the 3 packets at a time. We are moving the packets one at a time and finally reaching the destination. So event diagram, if you are looking, first we have to place the call request and destination has to give the call accept. So this is what we are calling it as handshaking. So after that our packets will be moved in that route only. So packet 1, packet 2, packet 3 finally reaching the destination. Then the destination will again give the I have received your packets. So that acknowledgement signal will be again given to the sender. So this is the event timing diagram of virtual circuit packet switching. And last one is message switching. So message switching is almost similar to packet switching, and it is mostly known as store and forward mechanism. Store and forward mechanism, where each computer the message is coming, so that message will be stored by that computer. Whenever the link from that computer is free, then it will forward that message to the towards the destination. So message switching is better known as store and forward approach for the entire message. In this method, a computer receives the message, stores it until the appropriate route is free, then sends it along that route. So message switching is store and forward mechanism is taking place. That is, whatever the message is there, that is transferred to one computer. That computer will receive the message and it will wait for the appropriate route to become free. Whenever that appropriate route is free, it will forward that message. So this is what message switching. So how a simple switched network consists of like this. So different PCs will be there, on you will be having the different switching nodes, and based on the switching nodes different devices are communicating. So that may be server or your personal computer or mainframes, servers, like that. So in that one you will be having different nodes, and for one switching node and different switches, all are interconnected, and you are sending the packets. And coming to the differences between the circuit switching and packet switching, so we will discuss the first we will discuss about the differences or comparison between the circuit switching and packet switching. Then we will discuss the comparison between three types of switching: circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. So first, in C and P, that is circuit switching, circuit switching and packet switching, physical path between source and destination, that is the dedicated line is established, dedicated physical connection is established between the source and destination in case of circuit switching. But in case of packet switching, there is no dedicated link. Packet can move as they want, like that. So all the packets or all the data use the same path from source to destination, that is dedicated line is established, that will be used for the transmission of data. But in case of packet switching, packets will travel independently. Packets will travel independently based on their control data information, that is depend on the network layer protocols. Reserves the entire bandwidth in advance. So whatever the bandwidth is there, means the call has to be uh, set up. That setup is taking place between the sender and receiver. That path will not be used by any other sender or receiver. So entire bandwidth will be used by that sender and receiver. No other person or no other user can able to use that bandwidth until it terminates. In this case of packet switching, there is no reservation. Any packet can go any route, like that. So lot of bandwidth is wasted in case of circuit switching. Why? Because if the data is not sent from source to receiver, then that link is ideal, sitting ideally. means channel capacity is wasted, bandwidth is completely wasted. In this case there is no such case, so no wastage of bandwidth. So in case of circuit switching, the main advantage is no store and forward transmission. But in case of packet switching, packets has to move to some other intermediate nodes. Whenever from that intermediate node to towards the destination, if the route is free only, the packets will move. Means packets will be available at different nodes and they will be stored, and whenever the route is free from that intermediate switch, then only packets will move from that node. So packet switching supports store and forward transmission. But in case of circuit switching, once the link is established, there is no chance of store and forward. We can send the data, huge amount of data between the sender and receiver. So suitable for bulk transfer of data. Circuit switching is best suitable for large amount of data transfer, but in case of packet switching, it is mostly used for short messages. That is, circuit switching is taking place in telephone communication, and packet switching is taking place in computer communication. Why? Telephone communication, dedicated path has to be established. In that dedicated path, users are talking. After talking, they are releasing that connection that will be used by other person. But in case of computers will not send the data continuously. It will send the data, means it is unpredictable. It will send the data in the form of packets or bursts. That is not at all not at all requires the dedicated link from computer to computer. So whenever the packets are there, it will send the data. So like that. So it is not suitable. It will only suitable for short amount of data sending, packet switching. So takes time in establishing the connection. So for establishing the connection only, it is taking the time. Once that link is established, we can send the huge amount of data in case of circuit switching. There is no delay in establishing the connection in packet switching. So packet switching, we are not establishing any connection. As and when the packets are there, the packets will be moved on to the network. So no alternate route is possible in case of connection failure. So this is the main disadvantage of circuit switching. What happens? There is no alternate route if that link is fails. In case of packet switching, alternate route is possible. If there is a link a node failure, we can choose another link, another node. Through that node we can send the packets. So charge is based on the distance and time, but not on the data. We can send the huge amount of data once the link is established. So for that link, there will be a distance factor also, time factor is also there. So once it is established, we can send a huge amount of data. Here the charge is based on the data, how much amount of data is sending in case of packet switching. So coming to three types of comparison. So in circuit switching, we are establishing the dedicated transmission path. In message switching, there is no dedicated transmission path, whereas in packet switching also there is no dedicated transmission path. So in circuit switching, once the link is established, you can transmit huge amount of data continuously. So in case of messages, we are transmitting the messages as and when the message is there, that is going to one computer, it will be stored there. Whenever the link is free, it will be forwarded to another computer, like that. So in packet switching, we are transmitting the packets randomly to different routes based on the routing protocols. So circuit switching operates in real time, means we are sending the data in real time, large amount of data. Once the setup is there, we can send the large amount of data, means it is works in real time. So message switching, it is a store and forward, so it is not real time. And packet switching also, we can not calling it as real time. it is nearer to real time. Messages are not stored in case of circuit switching, as and when the link is there, the data will be transferred. In message switching, route established for each message. For each message, route has to be established. Once the route is established, only whatever the stored data is there, that will be moved from that node or computer. So route is established for each packet in case of packet switching. So here user is responsible for message loss protection. So if there is message is lost, who is responsible in case of circuit switching? User is responsible for the message loss. But in case of message switching and packet switching, network it is total responsibility of the network only. Network is responsible for message loss. Why? Because if there is a node failure or like that thing, network is responsible. Here we are establishing the network that's why user is responsible in case of circuit switching. So summary in this class, what we have learned about the first circuit switching, what is switching and what is switching network, and different types of switching, circuit switching, and what is the concept and advantages and disadvantages, packet switching and types of packet switching, virtual and datagram concept, and store and forward in case of message switching. So circuit switching, what we are doing, we are establishing dedicated connection, then we are forwarding the data and we are terminating the connection, and what are its advantages and disadvantages. Packet switching, anyway virtual and circuit datagram concept, and comparison based on the length, path, delay and bandwidth. So here is a simple quiz. In circuit switching, physical path is required. Is it true or false? It is true. Alternate routing in packet switching is possible. True. Or you can say that yes. Circuit switching reserves the entire bandwidth. Yes, true. Packet switching supports store and forward mechanism. Yes, true. So frequently asked questions are: explain about circuit switching and its advantages and its disadvantages, explain about packet switching, and explain about different types of packet switchings, that is explain about datagram packet switching or explain about virtual packet switching, and compare circuit switching and packet switching. And next question may be compare circuit switching, packet switching as well as message switching. Thank you all.